here where the mistakes and pitfalls come in. First mistake is we started growing Global Computers. I was really focused on getting new clients. I was really honed in on getting government contracts, which we started doing. But we started growing without a plan. That's one of the most treacherous things you can do in a business, is because now you're going to go for anything that really shimmers and is shiny. If a client wanted this, okay, we want for that. If they needed networking or application development or cabling or AV, all these products and services, cybersecurity, we were stretched thin just trying to grow. We were doing government contracts on logistics. We were helping build bridges. It was crazy. And that growth ultimately led to us not having an identity of what our core products were. And it became difficult because we had to price every product separately and differently. That we didn't have a set, here's what we sell, here's how much it costs. It's no, we sell engineering solutions. Let's sit down, let's discuss, and let's figure out something that works for you. And the problem with that is it's hard to scale because I had to sit down and reevaluate constantly, and problems come up. And now, well, we didn't anticipate that problem, but we already set a price. So do we go back and change it? I wasn't business savvy enough to understand how much companies are willing to pay back then. Now I know, yeah, Dom, don't take that loss. It's their project. You're helping complete the project, but don't take the loss on it. And now I'm starting to see where those big pitfalls were. It's growing without a plan, and you start to get spread too thin. Now, here's the second problem that I came across in owning Global Computers and Network. Now, working in the business instead of on the business. I started finding myself doing the troubleshooting, fixing printers, connecting internets and computers for our clients. I was traveling every day. I was a 24/7 tech support. I was sleeping with my laptop open just in case one of our 24/7 clients pinged us on the chat or called because they needed support. Well, we were offering 24/7 tech support, so I was just ready on the go. I was working in the business instead of working on the business. One of the biggest mistakes that I've made and probably still continue to make in some degree. I needed to figure out a way earlier to sit back, analyze what our growth strategy was, and how to get the right people in place to help with that growth. One of the most successful technology companies that I came across in this period was this guy who ended up buying an IT franchise. Did the same thing similar to us. He was actually surprised at how we were growing the company, and he wanted to learn from us. But one thing he didn't know or do, he didn't know anything about technology. He didn't know networking and anything. He just knew he wanted a company. And at first, I was so surprised because he would hire us, i.e., me. I would go out and help him troubleshoot some of his clients. And he would be standing right there paying me on per hour without knowing that he could do it himself. And he just knew that it wasn't his strength. He didn't know how to do the tech work. He owned the technology company, but he didn't know how to do the tech work. Surprisingly enough, he became a lot more successful sooner than we did. And that's because he probably focused on how to grow the company and not do the day-to-day minutia that I was stuck in. So I don't think I'll ever make that mistake again moving forward after this podcast, and being too ingrained in my business. Another mistake I made, lack of organizational skills. Organization is not my strong suit. You ask anybody that works with me, I'm a visionary, I'm a dreamer, I'm a thinker, but I will throw out thoughts, and I'm scatterbrained. And when you're running an organization, you need to be organized. We had invoices outstanding to the tune of $70,000. We had lawsuits out for people who didn't pay us $55,000. We had, so many things. We had international clients. We had government contracts. I had employees that were stealing from me, and I didn't really pick up on it until we had accounting audit. Once I started getting people into places to help me organize, I started seeing how much money I was just bleeding by not being organized. I've probably lost over $200,000 in not being organized because I was just chasing new money and not really setting up what I had and making sure that that was stable already. So my lack of organizational skills cost me a lot of headache, a lot of time, and a lot of money. The best way to solve that problem is by getting people in place that can balance out what your weaknesses are. That's when I started realizing how big of a problem it was when I hired an office manager that was phenomenal. She came in, I mean, she was in our bookkeeper and accountant. She was on top of these clients. She wanted to make sure that we invoiced correctly. She was on top of the technicians and what work they did, what billing we worked on. It was amazing. I was like, wow, somebody opened a light. Somebody just really opened my mind to what it's supposed to be after I was doing it now for about 2 years the wrong way. So that was phenomenal for me. However, she had to move. We lost that talent. And I needed to figure something else out. The last mistake that I made, it really compounds with what Rochelle did for us, which was organize our business, was not hiring the best talent that I could. I was always trying to hire the best talent, and it's happened about two or three employees of mine. When you hire a rock star player and you see what they can do, you're flabbergasted that you didn't have this sooner. And for me, it really came down to who can I hire to help me get to the next level? And how do I put this money aside, invest it? You only need 2 or 3 months salary ready for a new employee, because in 2 or 3 months you should have something in the pipeline to keep new money coming in, or make sure that that employee is helping you make money. An employee should not cost you money, they should make you money. So my fear of when I thought, oh, I got to hire somebody who's $50,000 a year, I was almost thinking I need to now make $50,000 a year extra. Like, no. All right, $50,000 a year. What is that? $4,000 a month. I just need enough for 3 months' salary, and that person needs to know that they need to bring in, starting 2 months, 3 months. They need to start bringing in that much money back into the company at least. And we've been transparent with that now, but that was a mistake that I had to learn early on, because what I was doing was going for the cheap talent. I was going for, okay, well, this guy is good enough. And he was not good enough. I had some awful people help me out. And now looking back at it, it's easy to say because we're doing so much better, but I should have spent the money on hiring the best talent that I could so that people would not drag my business down. And that, to me, were the biggest mistakes that I've made. Growing without a plan, working in the business instead of on the business, lack of organizational skills, and not hiring the best talent that I could. If I had done those four things early on, we would have probably been a step further in our progression than we are now. But it's okay, because it is a journey and a marathon, not a sprint. So with that, now that I've learned those lessons, now I've owned Global Computers for over 10 years. We've done millions of dollars in contracts and clients. We've had some clients for over 10 years. We've some of those clients from early on, from when Harlan had the company. I still have some of my optical design clients. That's just a testament to the type of service that I like to provide. People stay.